reading. This meeting will be taped. Please silence all communication devices. Roll call, please.
Ask.
Here.
Hilder.
Here.
Dawes.
Here.
Watts.
Here.
Fritz.
Here.
Gillis. Griffin.
Here.
Hewer. Here. Hopkins.
Here.
Huber.
Here.
James.
Here.
Kenny.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Mudge.
Here.
Norman.
Here.
Holtmans.
Here.
Poole.
Here.
Ramsey. Here. Reavers.
Here.
Rising.
Here.
Sims.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Yeoman.
Here.
Larson.
Here.
23 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Tonight's invocation of pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community. Grant us wisdom as we make decisions, clarity as we discuss important matters, and unity as we work together for the common good. We also pause to thank you for the first responders who work each day to keep our county safe. Bless and protect them as they serve with courage and dedication and watch over their families. Help us to listen with open minds, lead with integrity, and act with fairness and compassion. May our efforts benefit all those we represent. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. Tonight we have a presentation by Jason Caruso. Thank you. Sorry. Small Business Administration Public Affairs Specialist. Please.
Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate the opportunity to address everyone tonight about the disaster loan program that we are offering to Ogle County residents as well as residents of Stevenson, Winnebago, Joe Davis, and Carroll. So all of the counties that are contiguous to Stevenson following the tornado outbreak of April 17th. Folks, residents, business owners, and residents and renters are eligible for our home disaster loans of up to $500,000 to repair or replace property, up to $100,000 for the contents of the home, personal property, and businesses can get up to $2 million for repair or replacement of damaged property, real estate, and inventory. We also, and I left information to explain the programs as well. The third loan program that we have is economic injury disaster loans, and those are for businesses that may have had a setback and a loss of working capital because of the storm couldn't get to their clients or their clients couldn't get to them. They have until February 17th to apply for those, February 17th of next year. But the businesses, the physical damage loans that I talked about, the deadline to apply for those is July 17th. And there's also a 90-day grace period after that. But we're encouraging everyone that had any kind of setback and maybe even an infusion of cash to consider one of our long-term low interest disaster loans. There is no fee to apply for them. There's no obligation to take the loan if it's offered. And you also have 21 days to make a decision on that if you do want to take it. Collateral is only required for loan amounts in excess of $14,000. However, if someone does not have collateral, they're not necessarily going to be denied. We'll work with them in that regard. Also, too, if someone, a lot of folks are unwilling to take a loan, they may feel that they have a high credit score. We don't look at credit score. We look at the ability to repay. We're going to work with people if they need that infusion of cash. They may have already buttoned up their houses, patched their roofs, or done repaired their property, tree damage and things like that, and take it on a bill that they need to clear up. Well, our loans are at 2.8% for homeowners and renters, 3.75% for nonprofits, and 4% for businesses. So you could use our funds, like many folks are using, not certainly in Cook County, we're using our funds to pay off a because you don't have to pay our loans back as well for a full year interest-free. So these are not bank loans, these are funds from the U.S. Treasury, so it's repurposed tax dollars for everybody. Like I said, there is no fee to apply, there's no obligation to take them. If they do get them awarded to them. One other thing is we also offer mitigation funds with the life of the loan. So within 2 years, if someone takes some measures to repair the property to keep future disasters from happening, it could be a storm shelter, it could be gutters, it could be reinforced garage door, anything that's a mitigation measure, they could get additional funds, like 20% of the reported damages on top of that initial outlay of the loan. And then that will all go right in. The interest rates are consistent across the life of the loan, and those terms could be 7, 15, or 30 years. So we just encourage people to consider applying. The flyers that I have here, you can just shoot the QR code, or you can go to sba.gov/disaster. And on the portal, you can just put in Ogle County April 17th and what type of loan you're looking for, and then you can begin your application process there. So we appreciate everyone's time. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
But Jim, when we first started, there's something about certain agribusinesses like have to go into like a grain elevator that got damaged by the high winds, or
Yeah, so we don't help the agriculture. That would be if the USDA had a disaster loan requested. We can help farm operations. We can help the home on the farmer's home, or if they had a business on their property where they would say processing cattle or at a farm stand or something like that. That's where we can help. But as far as the overall big agribusiness, no, that would have to be something that's declared through the USDA. And I've not heard with this particular storm that there is, but again, everything's up on the in the Federal Register if it was. So if you like, I can look into that for you. I haven't found anything yet, but let me see what I can find. If you have anything.
I think it was in Ogle. There was some damage in the grain elevator in Ogle, but that would have to go to the USDA.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Consent agenda, we have approval of all county board minutes, accept monthly reports from Treasurer, County Clerk, Recorder, and Circuit Clerk. Appointments, we have 911 ETS Board, Rochelle PS, AP, Luis Anamo, Board of Health, Danielle Witowski, Board of Review, James May, Byron Museum District, City Stores. We have 2 resignations, Mental Health 708 Board, Dana Cox, Mental Health 708 Board, Leanne Brandenburg. And we have vacancies. 1 vacancy in the 911 ETSB Board for law enforcement, 1 911 ETSB Board vacancy for fire EMS. Oh, 2 vacancies, I'm sorry. Board of Health, Dennis, 1 unexpired term, Board of Health, 1 vacancy. Housing Authority, 2 unexpired terms, Mental Health 708 Board, 2 unexpired terms, Regional Planning Commission, 1 unexpired term, Franklin Grove Fire Protection District, 1 vacancy. Application recipe deadline Thursday, July 2nd, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. in the County Clerk's Office, 105 South 5th Street, Suite 104, Oregon. We also have Ogle County Claims, Department Claims for May 2026, $182,141.60. County Board payments, $117,033.64. And Highway Fund, $107,541.30. Then we have communications and sales tax report. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Fox,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Gillis, Griffin,
Yes.
Hewer, Hopkins, Huber,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Kenny,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Munch,
Yes.
Jordan, Oldens,
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Reavers,
Yes.
Rising,
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Yeoman.
Yes.
Ask.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Dawes.
Yes.
Larson. 23 yes.
Thank you. Next up, the zoning issues. Chairman Norton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, we have ordinance 2026-0601, Joshua S. Nelson, 208 Emily Street, Mount Morris, Illinois. Amendment to the zoning district to rezone from Act 1 to Intermediate Agricultural District on a property described as follows and owned by the petitioner. Part of the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 09, Mount Morris Township, 24 North, Range 9 east of the 4th PM, Ogle County, Illinois, 10 acres of a 22.45 acre parcel with a PIN number part of the 0809 200 010. Common location is 6500 block of West Grove Road. Let's see, regional, ZBA, and APC all passed unanimous. I make the recommendation on ordinance 2026-0601 to approve.
We have a motion, do we have a second? We have a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Next, this is ordinance 2026-0602, the Fagio Properties LLC, 3517 South 60th Court, Cicero, Illinois. This is a public statement in regards to a special use permit review. At this time, we wish to provide regarding the status of the special use permit previously reviewed by the APC committee. The committee's initial recommendation to revoke the permit was based on information provided to the county board indicating that the property owner had violated the conditions of the permit on 3 separate occasions. Since that time, the board has received additional information regarding the reported violations that requires further inquiry. Because of this, and in keeping with our responsibility to ensure transparency, fairness, due process for all, the full board will not be voting on the revocation of the special use property at tonight's meeting. Instead, the board will be moving it in a manner that ensures the property owner receives the due process to which they have a legal statutory right. This includes a full and accurate review of the facts, an opportunity for the property owners to be heard, and a careful evaluation consistent with the county ordinances and established procedures. Our commitment is to act based on verification of information and to uphold the rights of all parties involved. We appreciate the community's understanding, and as we work to resolve this matter legally, properly, and fairly. That's all I have for tonight, Chairman.
Thank you. Now we have public comment. We recommend the speakers keep their remarks concise, ideally within 3 minutes, or as otherwise directed by the county board chairman, to ensure that these meetings conclude in a timely manner. When a group wishes to address the board on the same subject, the chairman may request the group select one person to be the spokesperson. If the spokesperson is speaking on behalf of multiple group members, the chairman may allow additional time beyond the standard limit. Comments must be directed to the board as a whole, not to the individual members. Those addressed to the county board must limit their remarks to matters related to the board business. Speakers must refrain from uncivil, vulgar, or profane statements, remarks, or conduct, particularly towards any public servant or citizen, or any behavior that disrupts the board's proceedings. Any individual who engages in such prohibited conduct may be asked to leave the meeting to be required by the chairman for further participation. Do we have public comment tonight? Senator?
Hello. Thank you for your time. Senator Lee Ariana. Came out of local government, so I'm getting a little bit of flashbacks here tonight. I grew up a Granite Tour and I live in Dixon, and I'm here in my official capacity to give you a very brief update on this past spring session of the legislative General Assembly, and then I will be, let me make sure I got my date right, in Rochelle for Town Hall on July 14th. I'm going to have a mobile Secretary of State. I'm bringing the Secretary of State out to Rochelle from 10 to 2. So all your constituents, all the members of the region are welcome to get their SOS work done. And then Representative Fritz, the mayor, and I will be doing a town hall at 5:30 at the town hall. So anybody who thinks 3 minutes of me is not enough is welcome to come by. So with that said, let me jump in real quick, and I will try to keep this under 5 minutes here, around 3. First of all, for the budget, we do have a record budget. There was a lot of fund sweeps and tax increases part of it. We did not pass or attempt to pass a constitutional amendment to get what they call the millionaire's tax or the spike taxes, which would have really unleashed some spending. So there were a lot of the normal fund sweeps. A couple details, I won't get too detailed, you can come to Rochelle for that, but a couple details that impact everyone here directly. The Rural Road and Bridge Fund, which was swept dramatically as a matter of formula annually in the last veto session to the tune of about $500 million a year. That was not fixed, but what they did is they did $500 million extra in one-time bonding this year. We passed a law increasing our bonding authority. For some of the court spending, none of which can come to Ogle County, I'm afraid, because they did that on a partisan basis, which I'm not sure is legal. But until we can prove that in court of law, that's how they're doing it. And to borrow essentially the $500 million hole this year. So the good news is that road and bridge fund for non-Chicago areas has been made whole for 1 year. The bad news is we're not actually paying for it. We're punting it forward with interest to my kids, your kids, everybody's kids, which is a big problem for me. But in the short term, they fixed the political problem of ripping away those. I don't know if that's the solution for next year. They keep pointing to tax increases and trying to get us on board to vote for them to solve that on an ongoing basis. I am not willing to do that because every time I believe we have given tax increases, they somehow just end up with more spending as opposed to whatever the heck they said they were going to fix. So I'm a big skeptic. The other thing I'll note, which I did already, is the legislative initiative money was part of that bonding. They gave, I think, every senator $3 million, every state rep $1.5 million. As long as you're from the right party. It's not the way it was usually done in Illinois under almost any governor except this one. Again, I'm not sure how it's legal, but that means the top 10 poorest counties in Illinois are denied any legislative initiative funding whatsoever because they don't have to be represented by Republicans. It's not always the case. It is right now. So if they tell you they believe in equity, I would go ahead and not believe them because that's not how they're legislating. Unfortunately, mandate relief, I have more bad news there. Coming out of local government, mandate relief, I know, would be very helpful in terms of local costs, which directly impact what you have to levy, so you're not getting slaughtered over property taxes and any of your constituents. All we did is pass more mandates. We passed mandates that will increase homeowners insurance, which will go into mortgages. We passed more school mandates, and we passed more local government mandates, especially when it comes to cost of construction, which is the big driver. So that part was extremely frustrating to me. Last year, we actually got a little bit of school government mandate relief done. This year, there was nothing of that nature that passed. We did do some bipartisan reform of AI, which I think is very helpful. However, we did not extend that to data centers. So you're seeing data centers being a hot topic in terms of your local constituency getting angry. There are things we could and should be doing at the state level to protect you from having to worry about that. That includes water and environmental protections on data centers. That should happen at the state level. We did not do it. That includes zoning and setbacks and protecting how you zone and closeness to residential for things like noise pollution. We did not do that either. And that includes making sure they cannot pit communities against each other when seeking tax incentives. We did not do that either. So I'm sorry to tell you we offered you no support whatsoever when it comes to oversight of data centers or even categorizing them. I think something those of you involved in zoning know, there's a big difference between a data center that's storing YouTube funny cat videos all the way to reactive AI, water hog, gas, hog of everything in data center. And a huge spectrum in between. What we're seeing is spiking right now is the more AI data centers, which are the ones that do trigger water usage and really high grid draw in terms of energy costs. I like to think after the election, when they're not thinking about politics as much, there is a bipartisan push to solve that. So I would invite any of your input at the local level into some of those issues, because there may be a window of opportunity where members of either party can speak into that and talk about what you're experiencing at the local level. So feel free to offer me that feedback over the summer. Same, I know steer clearing has been a heavy topic. There are things we should have been doing at the legislative level down in Springfield to more empower what the permitting process looks for you guys, including how actual sanctioned rodeos happen, which I know are not what's happening in Ogle County. We did not do that either. I am very sorry. I tried to push some of that. I know a number of us did. Especially coming out of local government, I know how important that is to have that state structure to draw from. That's another one I caught in politics. I'm hopeful next year we can have some serious discussions down in Springfield about what the difference between a real rodeo and animal cruelty looks like, so that you guys are better able to draw those lines instead of trying to set precedents. I won't go into the Bears discussion because we might go back to a special session, other than say we are trying to make overall property level tax relief to the local governments pass through the constituents part of that discussion. We know why entities like the Bears or some of these big manufacturing, for example, are getting hit. The property tax is a big component of that. The state mandates and pension debt are huge components of that. We are slowly chipping away at the pension debt at the state level. We are unfortunately not on the mandate level. The last thing I'll note, and probably about out of time here, is on the housing matter. You may have seen that became a big discussion down in Springfield, as it should have been. I think it was more of a political discussion than a real policy one, because the governor did not introduce his legislative ideas at the beginning session. He waited until about halfway through, and there really wasn't enough time to do it. I do think that's something you'll see pop up again. So I'm asking my municipalities and any of my local governments, that's another one. I think there will be a window post-election, either during veto session, lame duck session, or next January, for rural legislators like me to have a window of time at the committee level to speak into what we're going to do. So my job is to be ready with information for you and for my own research, so that I'm able to speak into that moment. So much like data centers, that is where I would invite feedback from all of you in official capacities. Feel free to reach out to me in my office with what you've seen and experiencing. Because I will tell you, it is much more effective when I go down to Springfield, and instead of saying, this is what Villalana was thinking, I say, this is what my county board members are telling me. This is what my mayors are telling me. In fact, the reason the governor ran into so many problems with his housing bill is because rural mayors, suburban mayors, and the city of Chicago all came together in unison and said, this is not the right way to do it. We need help. This isn't the right way. And when people get organized at the local government level, even in a one-party gerrymandered state, it makes a difference. The housing discussion is a great example of that. So with that, I'll close. Again, Lee Ariano, your state senator. I represent the southern part of Ogle County, Rochelle, Granby, Tour, Lost Nation, 2/3 of Polo. I'm sorry, they chopped that up in the maps, and Shana. But I welcome input from anywhere in Ogle County. So if you don't happen to be in my part of Ogle County, I am still one of your Ogle County state senators. So please feel free to use me as a resource and share your knowledge with me. Thank you very much for all you do.
Thank you, sir. I apologize for the confusion over whether it's a presentation or public, so we just went a little long.
No, I try to keep it reasonably short. I will answer questions if you have them now. Otherwise, I'd be glad to see you in Rochelle.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Regarding data centers, there's anything?
I'm sorry, second.
Anything? Okay. I'll let
My name is Cynthia Allen Shank. I've sent an email to all of you. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it, but I gave you my credentials. I gave you my history involved with U.S. Customs, animal advocacy, and Humane Care Act. I appreciate that Ogle County has decided to revoke the permit for the rodeo, but this issue is far greater. Ogle County has been aware of the inhumane treatment of animals for years. Not months, years. With that, grows an ecosystem of additional crimes. The data tells us that. We have the proof. You have someone from Cicero, Illinois. Cicero has 84 times higher rates of crime than Ogle County. So when I say an ecosystem of crime, I can probably connect the dots. We also have the Humane Care Act. I have a jump drive. Have any of you seen the actual footage of the brutality that has been happening in Ogle County to the animals here? Because I'm happy to leave this for you. I'm from McHenry County. In May, our leaders had the courage, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the strength to arrest 5. And charges are strong. That was in March. In May, Ogle County had one of the most brutal rodeos with horrific crimes toward animals, and nothing happened. Well, I take that back. Something did happen. Ogle County set up a citizen to fail. What do I mean by that? 100 years ago, when I was a volunteer and I trained German Shepherds for Cook County, because I'm a Southside City girl, the #1 rule was we never ever put the dog in a position to fail. Ever. See, I feel that way about our police department and our state's attorney. We should never ever put citizens in a position to fail. Had I been at that rodeo in May, I'm not sure I would have followed the law. If I would have seen what those activists saw. It's here. I ask you all to watch it, and I ask you to use your conscience as to what you would do if you saw this kind of brutality. We need legislation in Ogle County, if that's what it's going to take. We need you to develop legislation to ban rodeos. There's no fun in watching animals get abused. So while I appreciate you revoking the permit, we need legislation. It must stop now. Don't think about it. Don't wonder about it. It must stop today.
Okay. Over here.
Hi, my name's Alicia. I was here for the zoning meeting which took place on June 9th at 10 o'clock with the Ogle County Board, and it was stated that they have no plans approving the building of any data centers in Ogle County. So the question I need to ask is that why Constellation has already purchased land by the nuclear plant in Byron, Illinois, for the sole purpose of building a data center. I, along with many others in this county, would appreciate an honest answer to that question. However, the incentives have been removed as it is an election season. Once the election is over, those incentives will obviously be back on the table, and I do assume that that is why there are no current plans at this time, but as soon as the election is over and the incentives are back in place, and I assume at that point, Ogle County will plan to build. In my 38 years of existence, I've never seen a country as divided as it is now. However, I can confidently say that the vast majority of all Democrats, Republicans, and Independents can all agree that we do not want data centers built in our community. We do not want to eliminate our wildlife or destroy our natural resources or live in a surveillance state just because the county is looking for a new way to generate revenue. I do feel that the board needs to be fully honest and transparent with the constituents of this county, and I certainly think that since you are voted and elected officials, you would want to respect the opinions of the citizens of this county and keep our water, land, and wildlife safe. If you don't listen to the citizens of this county and vote purely from what the county can gain from a financial standpoint, I guarantee you there are many people in this county who will make it our mission to see that none of you are reelected to the board, which has already happened in Festus, Missouri. The government and county boards such as this work for we the people and not the other way around. And you need to listen to what the people are saying and want and what we don't want. I sincerely hope you remember that when it comes time to presenting information honestly in future meetings, as well as when it comes to a vote regarding the data centers. It would be worth your time contacting residents from towns and cities already impacted by data centers, and I would highly recommend starting with the citizens of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. You'll get a lot more honest feedback from those who live by the data centers than you will from contacting other county boards who don't listen to their constituents. I truly do think if you're tired, I hope you listen carefully to each of the people in this room who are voicing their concerns. And I mean it with the utmost respect to the board, and I wholeheartedly would like an answer to the question why Constellation has already bought the land for the data center when there are no plans to build for building data centers in Ogle County. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to speak to you also about the continued animal abuse that's occurring in Rochelle. I wanted to first start by saying thank you, because I really believe that the board was moving forward to take a hard look at this property and potentially revoke a permit for violation. I think the people of Ogle County will do appreciate you taking action, and we all know that that's just not going to be enough to stop the brutal abuse that's been happening there for years. If you have not taken a moment to watch a single video, I think it's imperative that you do, because you will not understand what's fully happening out there unless you see it with your own eyes. It is terrible. It doesn't represent any rodeo that I've ever seen or been to. It's horrific animal abuse. And I wanted to take a moment to read something to you. This is the Public Health Ordinance for Ogle County Animal Control 2121-0902. It was approved on September 14, 2021, and it says in part, the purpose of this ordinance is to provide provide harmonious relationships between people and animals by, under C, it says, protecting animals from improper use, abuse, neglect, and inhumane treatment and health hazards. I think it's overly obvious that we're not upholding this ordinance. I even went so far as to look at this line by line over the past week. I am a policy writer in my day job, and I took the liberty of just taking a look at this and seeing what I would do to strengthen this. I went ahead and proposed a couple of edits, which I would like to share with this entire board. I would really appreciate your input and consideration. I think that the current county ordinance is just too weak, and there's nothing in there that will protect livestock animals from being abused. You can see it right on this video footage that another citizen left, that people, not only do they rip the tails off of steers and break their legs and break their horns, but they actually whip the horses, beat them in the face, kick them repeatedly, and they also kick steers to get back up. It's just unacceptable that we would allow this in our county. So I'm asking you to please work with the citizens, please take a look at our emails. I'm happy to send that proposed revision to you for your input, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Could you say your name?
Kelly Miller.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ellen Savela Edlund. Actually, I sent an email to everybody late last night. You probably didn't read it yet because everyone's emails are always filled. But I wanted to make sure I was here today so that this could be entered on the record, so that this could be taken seriously. I'm here speaking on behalf of my family that has lived in Ogle County for over 4 generations now. Specifically, I'm here on part of my 4 grandchildren because I like to teach them about the law and that laws have to be followed. We have all been shocked in my family to see the video evidence of the abuse of the steers at the steer tailing rodeo just outside of our town. We are urging Ogle County to revoke the special use permit that's been allowing the steer tailing for years, from what I understand. Illinois law already says that this is illegal, and why it is not been enforced is just beyond me. Because I personally have also called the sheriff's office. I've personally written to Mr. Rock over here, and I've got no response, and I'm mystified. Why this illegal mistreatment of animals has been allowed to continue for years is of extreme concern. In May, I actually personally witnessed it. I went out there and I counted the number of times these animals were run and abused, and I saw the
and that was regarding the data center draft ordinance and possible action by the committee and ostensibly the board at a later point. We, the audience, were informed that no such draft was ready to be presented, despite a number of us in attendance being told that there was one, in fact, being drafted in the same vein as DeKalb's data center ordinance. Similarly, too, were we told of specific names and parties that were involved in and consulting on said draft. We have not privately caucused nor conspired, but again, we are told that there is nothing to be shared on the subject, despite legal and corporate representation for Constellation being in attendance for last week's APZ meeting. Corporate lawyers don't just drive in from Chicago to a 10 a.m. meeting in Oregon for nothing. Last week, I was made aware of the existence of an email that was distributed to OCB's leadership on Monday, March 23rd, 2026 at 10:17 a.m. Subject heading, Data Center PowerPoint.pdf, with the body of the email reading, quote, PowerPoint from Region 1. I wasn't sure if you got this or not. Thanks, and have a great day. End quote. This is why people are asking for there to be timely uploads of these meetings online, unedited, readily available to both view and to listen to. It would appear that this process has been deliberately slow-walked, deepening skepticism and distrust throughout the community of this board and its decision-making. The arguments conflating the issues related to streaming and the issues regarding the very real security concerns of local government and law enforcement have been made in bad faith and by those who know better. And to be clear, the officials, plural, whom have been eager to guide and to share should be lauded, not shunned nor chided, because they are exacting the good and decent work of public service. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else, we'll go into the report recommendations of committee. Guy Phil, Port Security and IT, James.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one piece of business that we are just opening up to the public, the adoption of the Illinois Vehicle Code into the county code of ordinance. This is the first reading, and this has to do with adopting weight revenues and a change that we haven't had previously. If you have any questions, concerns, call me up, give me a notification. And this is just the first reading of the ordinance. Yes, to do for security departments. And if you have anything, please give me a call.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ethics and Governance, Chairman Huber.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For those in the audience, my name is Stephen Huber, District 6, which is Byron and the surrounding area. The only item on the agenda from the Ethics and Governance Committee is Ordinance 2026-0603. This amends Ordinance 2026-0501, titled Ogle County Guidelines to the Meeting Report Card, which is this thing that we fill out every month. It extends approval authority to the vice chairs of the county board and subordinate committees. A complete final draft of the text that was handed out should be in front of you, is also included in your agenda packet on page 31. It's also available for review on the public website. By specifying the rules governing the meeting report card, its purpose is to promote accountability to Ogle County taxpayers and to foster good stewardship of public funds. In summary, as mentioned last month, this ordinance defines reimbursable meetings and their associated costs. This ordinance also describes the requirement and individual responsibility for completing initials of concurrence by the committee and board chairs in the monthly submission to the office of the county clerk. The overall responsibility and authority for reimbursement approval is the chairman of the Ogle County Board and the chairperson of the committees to which an individual is assigned. This amendment clarifies and specifies that approval authority also extends to the vice chair of the county board or the committee as delegated. The Ethics and Governance Committee and the Executive Committee reviewed and approved this ordinance on 9 June of this year, this last week. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-0603.
We have a motion, do we have a second? We have a second, do we have any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Finance and Insurance, Chairman Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance Committee has two items for the board's consideration this evening. First is Resolution 2026-0607. This is a resolution of Ogle County supporting the extension of the completion date of the Village of Mount Morris Tax Increment Redevelopment Plan and Project for the Mount Morris Industrial Conservation Park. This would extend the TIP that they have there for another 13 years. I make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Second. We have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Unanimous. Next
item of consideration is the opioid fund transfer ordinance 2026-0604. This ordinance would move $18,000 from the opioid fund to the state's attorney's department, which would pay $6,000 each in the form of stipend to 3 state's attorneys that work for that department. I make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-0604.
We have a motion, do we have a second? We have a second, do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Chairman Miller. Long range planning, Chairman Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's nice to come here tonight after having a couple of construction meetings this morning and to be able to share the positive news of our projects and where we're going at this particular point. The Memorial Plaza project, as you can see in some of the pictures, and if you had a chance to be outside, we had the landscape in despite all the rain that we've had. We were able to get that all put in place. Looks very nice. Last night, we were able to mount the eagle on the pedestal and get that all accomplished. And we've had some compliments about that already, so it's very nice to have that addition to the memorial. And we have most of the lighting in place, as you can see from the night pictures there. We have 2 mini spotlights that are going to go on the pedestal eagle, and we're going to have 3 others that go on the soldiers and sailors and monuments on the back side. So we'll get those put in. We're in the process of getting benches for the project. We'll have 6-foot benches on the south side, 4 of them, and 8-foot benches on the north side. 4 of those. So with that, we're moving along to the office renovation projects, and we were able to finish everything on the Pines Road to move animal control out there. And thanks to the maintenance department for making that move to get all the furniture out there, we were able to get set up. We did have one desk that did not fit the area because
updates, the reports and recommendations of committees. We do have a closed session tonight. Can we get a motion to go into closed session? Mr. Rivers. Second. And we have a second. And we get a roll call.
Hess,
Yes.
Miller, Dawes,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Fritz, Gillis, Griffin,
Yes.
Ewer, Hopkins,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Kenny,
Yes.
Miller, Munch,
Yes.
Nordman,
Yes.
Oltens,
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Weaver, Rising,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Williams, Gilman,
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
23 yes, 1 absent.
We're going into closed session.